here this afternoon. To begin, I'd like to share a thought by Seth Godin. Marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the stories you tell. With this spirit, on behalf of the Indian Institute of Management Amritsar, I, Sumedha Sharma, along with Ishika Pasricha, warmly welcome you to the 8th edition of Pariprekshya’, the annual finance and marketing conclave. Pariprekshya’ brings together industry experts to explore and discuss the latest trends and challenges in the markets that are shaping the future of industries. Our aim is to bridge the gap between academic theory and practical industry application, fostering a platform where innovation thrives and learning knows no bounds. We're excited to embark on this journey, and I hope you're ready for some thought-provoking conversations.
With enthusiasm, we introduce today's theme, Phygital marketing, integrating online and offline customer experiences. It is now our pleasure to invite Marco Felix, the Marketing Club of IIM Amritsar, to present a brief video highlighting the theme of today's event. This presentation captures the essence of our theme, brought to life through the creativity and expertise of Marco Felix.
Phygital marketing. Today we are diving into the world of phygital marketing. Phygital marketing is a strategy that integrates physical and digital channels to create interactive customer experiences. Phygital marketing combines tangible sensory elements of phygital world but contains the accessibility of digital. Who wrote this? This feels like a lecture. Phygital marketing deserves a better intro.
Just think about the reach. Having your store online is like having your shop in each and everyone's pocket. Your designs will be readily available in each and every person's feed. Chandni Chowk से China तक सब लोग तेरे डिजाइन देख सकते हैं. But you know, people like to feel the fabric, inspect the stitching. Trust me, there's nothing like trying clothes on in person. I mean, who wants a one-size-fits-all that doesn't fit anyone at all?
In online, you don't even need to pay for rent or utilities. You can offer lower prices and still make better profits. कम cost, ज़्यादा margin, पैसा ही पैसा होगा.
Low prices maybe, but customer loyalty कहाँ? Customer loyalty यहाँ है. People will keep coming back to your store because they want an in-person customization. They will come back to you because they know it.
A store lets the customer see and feel the fabric, the fit, the quality. That's how they connect with the brand. People buy more when they are in store. They can try things on and see how it looks in the mirror. Maybe even buy a few extra pieces. Online, we can reach shoppers beyond our local area, the whole country, maybe even global customers. We can skip the high cost of rent and upkeep. There's extra budget for ads and better quality materials. A physical store gives the brand a real local presence. Customers feel more connected and trust us more when they know there's a store and they can walk into. There's no limit to how many items we can display online. We can show every style and color and size at once.
Online, offline, online, offline, online.
Really, Dipansh? Like she loves me not with a business decision?
Oh, come on, man. It's my last decision making too. It feels like choosing between pizza and dessert. Can't I have both?
Of course. Why settle for one when you can go Phygital, combining the best of both the worlds?
Phygital? Sounds like something too good to be true.
Honey, trust me, it's legit. Let me break it down for you.
Let's start with something simple. Burger King and McDonald's have self-ordering kiosks. Customers can scale the line, customize their meal, and pay directly at the kiosk.
So customers
businesses can handle more order faster.
Exactly. Customers get their food quicker and businesses can improve their order efficiency and reduce staff bottlenecks. It's a win for both the sides. Now, if you think that's cool, wait until you hear how Lenskart is using digital marketing to make eyewear shopping easier. Lenskart lets you try on glasses virtually using their 3D try-on feature. You can see how the frames look on you from the comfort of a couch. And then head to the store to try them in person before making the purchase.
So customers can confidently use glasses from home and can test them in store to make sure they're perfect.
Exactly. Customers get convenience and certainty, and businesses benefit from the high conversion rates because the customers are ready to buy when they visit the store. Speaking of smooth experiences, Decathlon has taken things a step further with self-checkout facility. Decathlon has self-checkout counters where customers just drop their items in the cart and it automatically scans everything and generates the bill. No need to wait in line at the register.
That sounds perfect. So customers don't have to wait and businesses can speed up transactions.
Absolutely. It's seamless and quick for customers, and businesses can streamline their checkout process, increasing the efficiency and reducing the labor costs.
Okay, so these are some great examples. But what about clothing business? How can I incorporate Phygital in my brand? And how will it benefit both me and my customers?
Great question. For a clothing business, you can integrate digital marketing in ways that engage your customers both online and offline. For example, you could set up kiosks in store where customers scan the shirt they pick, and the kiosk will suggest outfits that pair well with it. This helps customers find complete looks without having to search the entire store. Additionally, you can offer virtual try-on experience where customers can see how clothes or outfits look on them without physically trying them on. They can use this feature on your website or in-store, ensuring they feel confident about their choices before making a purchase. For you, this means higher engagement, more informed customers, and greater conversion rates because the customers are confident during the purchase. And also, you will get valuable data on what styles are popular and tailor your offerings accordingly. Digital marketing is about creating an experience that blends the best of both the worlds: digital convenience and physical touchpoints. And for a clothing business, you can connect with the customers in a modern way, increase sales, and also give them an experience that they will love.
Alright, I get it now. This makes so much sense. I know exactly what I need to do. Blending best of both the worlds for business. Thank you, Manvi. I'm all in for Phygital.
For the captivating video. Your creativity beautifully captured the essence of our theme and set an inspiring tone for the event. Now, we are pleased to welcome Ms. Mehak Chok and Mr. Yash Jain to present today's theme. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. With that being said, a very cheerful good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, respected keynote speaker, esteemed panelists, honorable faculty members, and my enthusiastic fellow mates present here. Today, I, Mehak, along with my teammate Yash, welcome you all to Pariprekshya, the annual finance and marketing conclave. And we are here to talk about Phygital marketing, integrating online and offline customer experiences. I welcome you all to the era of Phygital marketing, where innovation meets tradition to create an extraordinary customer experience. Phygital marketing is a revolutionary approach that merges the physical and digital realms to create a unified customer journey. It aims to provide a seamless experience by blending the convenience of online transaction with the tangible personal interactions of in-store shopping. This strategy addresses the growing consumer behavior of using multiple channels, as almost 75% of consumers rely on various touchpoints during their purchase journey, while 82% of the smartphone users still consult their
immense, as it is projected to reach $100 billion by the year 2030. Talking about the evolution from traditional retail to phygital marketing, in the past pre-2000s, businesses operated purely in brick and mortar environments with limited customer data and a one-size-fits-all approach. During the digital era 2000 to 2015, e-commerce emerged, along with mobile shopping and multi-channel retailing, which began the blending of physical and digital elements. Since 2015, we have entered the phygital age, where seamless integration between online and offline channels is essential. Businesses now focus on real-time personalization and providing omni-channel experiences, enhancing both customer satisfaction and engagement. Talking about the 3 I's of phygital marketing. They are immediacy, immersion, and interaction. Immediacy refers to the instant access customers have to products and services. The best example for this is the scan and go technology, where the customers can easily scan their products and have a quick and easy checkout. It emphasizes delivering the fast and efficient services to meet customer expectations for real-time experiences. Then we have immersion, which involves creating a more engaging and sensory-rich experience. This can be achieved through augmented reality tools such as the virtual fitting rooms. These technologies immerse customers in a digital experience that feels personal and interactive, bridging the gap between online and offline. And lastly, we have interaction, which focuses on enhancing the customer engagement through interactive tools, such as the smart mirrors or the interactive displays. These allow customers to interact directly with the products, enabling a more personalized shopping experience that cater to their preferences and needs. Together, these components help business deliver a more dynamic and integrated customer experience, essential for succeeding in the phygital world. Now, let's understand phygital marketing a little better, but let's look at a small video first. Yes, you got that right. We are talking about Nike's Phygital revolution, which highlights the key innovation that blend physical and digital experiences. They focused on 4 main strategies. The first one being the Nike app integration. Nike leverages its app to enhance customer experience, providing seamless connectivity between online and in-store shopping, exclusive content, and personalized recommendations. Then we have scan and try services, where shoppers can scan products to instantly access information and try virtual versions using augmented reality, offering a futuristic and interactive shopping experience. Then we have the custom studio for personalization, where Nike allows customers to personalize their products through a studio experience combining creativity with technology for bespoke customization. And lastly, we have the speed shop for quick purchases. In this concept, Nike lets customers reserve items online and pick them up quickly in store, streamlining the shopping experience for convenience. Talking about the results of this Nike's digital phygital revolution, customer satisfaction transaction increased by 17.2%, showcasing how customers are enjoying a more seamless, personalized shopping experience, whereas the store engagement grew by 27.6%, highlighting that customers are more likely to engage in-store due to integration of digital services like scan and try and personalized customization. The Nike app saw a 34.5% increase in users, reflecting the app's critical role in creating a connected and convenient shopping ecosystem that appeals to the tech-savvy consumers. And lastly, the conversion rates increased by 20.7%, showing that the new digital tools and in-store innovation are directly leading to more purchases. Over to you, Yash.
So now we'll talk about industries embracing phygital marketing. We'll explore how different industries in India are revolutionizing customer experiences through phygital marketing, the seamless blend of physical and digital touch points. So now we'll talk about fashion and apparels. Live video shopping offers real-time expert suggestions. RFID reduces checkout times, and AI virtual try-ons allow instant outfit trials. Then comes beauty and personal care. Augmented reality lets customers try makeup virtually, while AI smart mirrors and digital kiosks provide personalized recommendations and beauty tips. Then comes jewelry and watches. Augmented reality enables virtual product trials, 3D tools allow customization, and digital catalogs offer intricate details beyond physical display. Then we'll talk about IVR. They have AI virtual try-ons, facial mapping for precise fit, and digital style advisors suggest suitable frames for individual face shapes. Then we have multi-category retail. Endless aisle tech expands inventory virtually. Smart cards enhance in-store experiences, and unified systems ensure stock consistency online and offline. Lastly, we have electronics. Demo product stations, QR codes for product info, and virtual comparison tools help customers make informed choices. So now we'll talk about the implementation framework. The Phygital marketing framework has 4 key parts. First is foundation. Foundation is about assessing current capabilities and identifying opportunities for phygital integration. Then comes integration. Integration is about seamlessly connecting online and offline channels, ensuring data and customer experiences align. Then comes experience design. Experience design is about creating immersive and engaging touch points using technologies like augmented reality and interactive displays to enhance customer interactions. Lastly, innovation. Innovation is about continuously evolving by adopting AI, real-time analytics, and personalized experiences to stay ahead in the market. So now, how do we measure the success of phygital marketing? It comes down to both customer and operational metrics. On the customer side, we look for cross-channel conversion rates above 15% and satisfaction scores over 85%. On the operational side, metrics like the value of transaction and return on investment from these integrations are crucial. These data points tell us how well we are bridging the gap between online and offline experiences. So, every new technology comes with challenges, and phygital marketing is no exception. Integrating technology can be costly, but a phased approach based on ROI can help ease the burden. Then comes data privacy. Customers need to feel secure about their data, which we can achieve through vigorous security measures. Lastly, training staff to adapt to new AI tools and ensuring regular maintenance will ensure smooth, lasting operations. So, what's next for phygital marketing? Emerging technologies like augmented reality will allow us to visualize products in 3D or try them virtually. Voice commerce driven by smart assistants will bring hands-free shopping to the mainstream. Finally, AI will take personalization to the next level, predicting what customers want before they even know it themselves. So, what's next? So what are the key takeaways? In summary, phygital marketing is no longer optional. It's the new standard for customer experience. Success in this space comes down to seamless integration, constant innovation, and continuously delivering personalized experiences at every touch point. And the key to staying ahead is continuous adaptation as technology and customer expectations evolve. So, what can we do next? First, assess where we stand in terms of current capabilities. Then, identify opportunities for phygital integration and map out a clear implementation plan. Start small but scale quickly. The faster we can merge the physical and digital worlds, the sooner we can deliver superior customer experiences. Lastly, to conclude, I would like to say, marketing makes the company look smart, while phygital marketing makes the customer feel smart.
Thank you, Mehak and Yash, for such a compelling presentation. Let your actions light the path, not personal ambition. Leadership is about elevating others and creating lasting impact. With this sentiment, it is my privilege to introduce today's keynote speaker, Ms. Dipali Nair. Ms. Nair is the Group CMO of the CK Birla Group, a $3 billion Indian conglomerate. In her current role, she oversees brand and marketing across the group's B2B and B2C businesses, as well as the group's philanthropic ventures. She is responsible for leading initiatives across brand, communications, public relations, and digital marketing, ensuring alignment with the group's overall business objectives. Before joining the CK Birla Group, she served as the CMO for IBM in India and South Asia, and later Director of Digital Sales for IBM in India, ASEAN, and Australia. In a career spanning 30 years, Ms. Nair has held leadership positions at IBM, Mahindra Holidays, L&T Financial Services, HSBC Asset Management, and Marico. In July 2020, she launched the podcast, Being CEO with Dipali Nair, which became a bestseller on Avaz.com. She won the Economic Times Most Promising Tech Marketer of the Year award in 2020 and has been listed 4 times in India's 50 most influential women in media and marketing by impact. With that being said, we would like to heartily invite Ms. Dipali Nair on stage. And we would also like to request Ruchi ma'am to come on stage and felicitate Ms. Nair.
Thank you.
You know what we should do? We should do another picture so that we get your logo and the brand right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You can take it back. Thank you.
Now, it is with the utmost reverence that we humbly request Ms. Nair to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you very much. You guys can hear me at the back? Okay, great. Great. They have my slide. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I think special mention to Siddharth, who was so persistent and relentless, who didn't give up, and just followed up again and again with me and got the date and the time and my timings right. So thank you, Siddharth, for all the efforts that you did, and great job by everyone, I think, in putting this together, including the videos. I truly enjoyed the first one that was done. I think great, not just acting skills, but also the context building, that has been done. Very, very interesting. Although I must admit that Prabhakar and I, while we were sitting over there, and I think since the time we met in that pre-jury meet, all of us, we've been discussing Phygital, omni-channel, how do these words fit in? But I think to me it's a case of semantics. Whether you do omni-channel or Phygital, it's one and the same in my head at least. You have a great panel coming up. I think the amount of pre-work that's been done and the questions and the anecdotes that they're going to share is going to be fantastic learning for all of you. I think your Marcophilic club has done a great job in telling you all the basics and the presentation that they made. I don't know how many of you were making notes or whether you know what they said. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just share my experiences of how I have experienced marketing and the development onto this Phygital thing over the last 30 years. I can only tell you that the world has changed dramatically from 1993 when I started working to today. I'm very blessed that I have spent all of these 30 years in sales and in marketing and in different categories. Prabhakar and I were comparing notes just earlier on that I have never repeated a category. Of course, today I'm in a group CMO role and there are about 15 different categories that I kind of supervise. So let me, when I decided to do this, I was nostalgic and I said, okay, what is it that I want to share with you? Okay, so there are 3 parts to this. Okay, who's going to tell me when I'm at the 15 minutes mark? You will? Somebody, yeah, somebody needs to tell me. Lest I just carry on. The clicker, should I try again? This side, like this? Okay, great. So can anybody tell me what's on the left hand side, your left hand side? Yeah. Very good. Yeah, very good. Who said shorthand from that side? I'm so glad because most Gen Z people don't know what this is. Typically, it is just completely disappeared, from offices. So, sorry, what was that? They're saying you're not Gen Z? Okay, so I must tell you this. When Siddharth told me that I have to do this keynote and it has to finish in 20 minutes and there's not going to be any Q&A, I said, shit, that's not what I enjoy going to a B school, okay? So I like the interaction, so we will do this. We'll try and finish this in 18-19 minutes and a few questions after that, okay? And all the jokes. I do want the jokes, okay? Now, I have moved from this to ChatGPT. That's my life. You know why I'm saying that? Because I don't use ChatGPT, maybe perhaps like others. I don't ask the questions or I don't ask it to use a creative output. I dictate into it. It is the best dictating app available, okay? The stenographers that I had when I started work were the best dictating app at that point of time, and then we went through a series of apps that didn't work, right? So audio apps and stuff like that. I had to learn to speak slowly, and then I gave up in between, and I'm back to it today. So I don't use ChatGPT for generating content for me so much, but this is the best dictating app that I have used. I'm sharing this example with you because to just illustrate how the world of technology has changed my experience as a consumer, and it's relevant, to what's going to come. Of course, when I was thinking about it and I said, okay, the most used app on my phone and the most used app on my computer is WhatsApp and Slack, right? And I mean, fax machines plus secretaries and all the work. My secretary does 20% of the work. That's really what the secretaries used to do 20 years ago when I started. So that's again how life has changed. So business models are also changing accordingly. What's of relevance and what is a precursor to all the discussion that we were discussing where your team said they didn't use the word CRM, but CRM is another word that you will hear and the jargon that gets used. If I really look at it, is segmentation. Do you guys still use Philip Kotler at college? Amazing. So there is still the concept of 4 Ps, or are they 5 or 6 or 7? 7 now? Okay. I've forgotten how many. I think they were only 4 when I was studying. Okay. So you've done segmentation as Kotler describes it. I don't know if the chapter has been updated, but segmentation as I remember, which we practiced, even up till about 2002-03 when I used to be with Marico. And I still remember the work that I used to do on Saffola. You would look at housewives. You would look at housewife segments as research would give it to you. Some who are more, some for example who are both into taste and nutrition, some are only into taste, some are only into nutrition, some are older and younger, and you use these demographic and attitude variables to do segments. And then there was the most interesting thing that we used to do. Find an insight that's common to all of them. Okay, and then do your blockbuster ad, which will be cut-up-picky. So this used to be the model that all of us, used to follow up till just I'm talking about 20, years ago. We used to follow that model. Up till that time, I had not even heard of something called a web. Okay, till about 2003, I hadn't heard anything about websites, internet, web, application and marketing. So it has all happened in the last 20 years. Okay, just for your perspective, there was nothing called digital marketing. When I passed out of college, I could not have conceptualized this world, because when I entered my MBA college, you still had the AC room where you could go in and work on the computer. You use DOS commands. I don't know if any of you even understand what I'm talking about. Okay, there was no Windows, there was no Excel, PowerPoint. It was a very different world. And I've told you what happens on segmentation. Come 2006-07, I joined HSBC Asset Management, and for the first time, I've been exposed to the world of CRM. It used to be a product called Talisma, which was one of the initial days of the products that as they go, you guys can look it up. ChatGPT can explain it to you what it is. And first time I tried something called a continuous segmentation, which means that you don't do segments for years and years, which means that you regroup, you can do segments as on the go, but at least you needed analytics and tools to do it, so it was not practical to do it more than once a quarter kind of a thing. It failed. Their experiment completely failed. It didn't work. Asset management is a space which works and has lots of data for us to be able to do segmentation. So technically it should have worked, but practically utilizing the lot of transaction data, arriving at that equation as to which are the most influential variables, it didn't work in practice. I went away to insurance after that. Didn't give up the idea of continuous segmentation, but still I don't think the technology and the data sets that we had and the legacy systems we had enabled us to be able to do it. After which I joined Mahindra Holidays. I still didn't give up, and that's where I successfully this was in 2014-15, that I didn't give up for almost 8 to 9 years, and I tried continuous segmentation. Now at Mahindra Holidays, we used to run quarterly segments depending on where people have holidayed, where they live, and we would then be able to give offerings to them which were not personalized, okay, which were still part of groups, cohort-based offerings. So people who've gone to holiday to Dharamshala last year, because we had some spare inventory to sell, we would tell them, oh, you must go to the hills again. Or people who had gone to Goa, we would tell them, why go to the beaches and go to the hills again, right? These were not the only variables we used. We used a lot more variables. I'm oversimplifying it, to explain it to you. And we were first able to do it. But we used to do this quarterly process. We used to decide, a campaign manager would decide how to do these offerings. This has all got automated now. You still require a human mind to be able to see what your inventory is, what is it that you want to sell, and correlate. So the business can't run with AI and the marketing tools, but this whole process has got automatic. I don't need to do a quarterly segmentation. We don't need to, a campaign manager doesn't need to pre-decide, these are the only 20 offerings we have. They still need to decide overall 30, but the pick and choose can happen. And instead of running, let's say 10 segments or 12 segments, you could technically have 250 segments. But that is the world that we've come to thanks to technology and automation tools, and now the AI tools. customers. So the personalized offerings are really real, in that sense. Not to say that personalized offerings didn't happen earlier. Once again, let me go back to HSBC Asset Management. I still remember we did physical brochures, which we would take to our customers, and depending on the customer type, our sales team had the sense to pull out you understand SIP into a mutual fund? You guys understand? Right? So it's a monthly commitment of some money. Depending on who the customer used to be, the sales guy used to physically think and say, okay, should I pull out the 2,000 rupee per month SIP brochure, or should I pull out the one which gives the example of 50,000 rupees per month SIP? So you still did in a manner personalized offering, but you did this for a cohort or a segment. To today, where they look at a lot more variables, they may still have only 35 offerings, by the way, okay? But it all happens in real time, right? Having said that, the world's not perfect. You showed the example of what is happening at a Nike store, what's happening with Lenskart. There are a lot of failure points, right? Some failure points that I want to share, and hopefully I think the panel is also discussing, a few of them. Credit cards, very rich in transaction data. They know exactly where I spend my money. Okay, I have been at least there are 2 credit cards that I've had for last 15 or 20 years, right? They have my 15-20 year history. They know exactly which restaurant I go to, which stores I go to, what I buy, right? I'm still to receive a personalized offer from any credit card company on discount at my favorite restaurant. Or even acknowledgement to say, this is the restaurant you've been to 10 times in the last 2 years in the party. This is your birthday. Again, they have my data. And here's a 20% off voucher for you to go to your favorite restaurant that you frequented. Think about it. Why? I'm coming to the next slide. The latest one. Vistara Airlines and Air India cannot match my frequent flyer program. I just received an email this morning which said we are taking a 1 day off to do the matching. Okay? You call both the help desks and you say, look, we fixed this, my email ID is the same, phone number is the same, can you match it up? They're not the only ones, by the way. Tata Neu also cannot solve this problem. They don't even write back to me. My phone number is the same, email IDs are 2 different email IDs. They've not figured out that I'm the same person having 2 accounts. The world's not perfect. It's run by humans. Okay. There's something called Provident Fund. This is to do with the government. I must say this, especially after working with IBM. My opinion has changed dramatically about the kind of work that government and bureaucrats are doing. It's amazing. The kind of work that's happened in India is truly cutting edge, and IBM does a lot of work with the government. So I have been privy to meetings, I've been privy to discussions, the way they think scale. No private company in the country does. Okay, the government, the way they think scale, the way they think investment in technology is amazing. Having said that, who will clean up the past? I've been working for 30 years. My Provident Fund is still stuck in 2 of the companies because it's on books and ledgers. It's not moved online. Okay, and I know that the day I decide to retire, I'm going to take a year, I think, to sort this out. I don't have the time just now to do the follow-ups. So this is also real. While we have probably one of the most advanced digital payment system and a secure one, and the one that works across the world. We are leading, from the world perspective, but there is still, the old cleanup that needs to be done. Technically, ChatGPT and AI should be doing everything, right? Any translation is possible. You guys have experienced it yourself, right? Still, all brands, call centers do not offer all languages, because you have to commercialize the whole thing, right? Medical records are not available to all my healthcare providers, mine, and insurance companies. Why? Now that's a separate discussion, and that's to do with data privacy and protection of my rights. It's got nothing to do with the available technology or not. So those are practical consideration in terms of how you apply technology. And all these have implications for the way you market, you segment, you do real-time segmentation, and the way you do personalized offerings. Yeah? So the real world has a lot more problems that need to be solved. Right? So credit cards do not make personalized offers because it is not profitable for them to do it, to put the kind of staff and analytics that is required to be able to do so. It's as simple as that. Okay? Airlines don't do it mostly because they have the issue of the legacy systems. The humongous legacy systems, upgrading those systems is a cost and an effort that sometimes airlines are not able to bear. Provident fund bit, it's bill and cleaning up, there are just so many other projects that the government has. Call centers do not offer all languages, is again, cost considerations. And one more thing which I, didn't put down here on paper, which is to say that if AI takes over, the call center head loses his empire of 250 people. No? So these are also things that happen. And data privacy I already spoke about. Yeah, let me move on to, so what's new? So I have already given you an example of how these problems existed or consumer needs existed. We solved them the old way. We are solving them the new way, which is creating better customer experience, enhanced customer experience, more pleasurable customer experience in real time, therefore, at great speed. But there are also some new things that are happening, like me enjoying the ChatGPT dictation mode, right? So what's the kind of new stuff that's happening? If you have any inclination to be in the B2B space, then I would request you and urge you to read up on digital ABM. The way you do B2B marketing has completely changed from the way it used to happen 20 years ago. There, I don't even have a comparison to say, look, the same old thing is happening with a new method. No. Completely new and different things are happening. One such example is account-based marketing. It's called ABM. And most people who've not, done B2B marketing don't even realize how that is revolutionizing the way B2B selling and marketing is happening. There's far greater integration of sales and marketing. And one company who has recognized this potential and who is minting money on this is LinkedIn. Because LinkedIn offers solutions for digital ABM, for corporate organizations to target other corporate organizations for B2B selling and marketing. Right? I'm not delving into detail over here, but this is like an hour of lecture on its own. But I want you to know and therefore, be familiar. I want to talk about two companies that I'm very familiar with. The first company over here I've invested into, but let me tell you what they're doing. This is a SaaS product, SaaS platform for publishers. By publishers we mean it could be Hindustan Times, Indian Express, or a vernacular newspaper, or a home decor magazine, or a journalist who's decided to go solo, so from big to small. What happens very typically in a newspaper, I'll tell you the old way and the new way and how they've changed lives, is that a journalist writes, let's say 500 words, that goes to the editor, and then the editor, makes changes, suggests the headline, somebody else decides what the headline is going to be because they have to do pagination. It goes into the physical newspaper, and then a version of that also appears for digital, or sometimes the journalist also has to write the digital version, or vice versa. They may write the digital version at the same time, and the newspaper version, the physical version goes later, right? And then somebody else sits on this and works out how it's going to appear in social media. Then somebody else decides it also has to go into the newsletter and what goes, etc. And that's how it happens. And they struggle because most of the print magazines and newspapers have not made such a great success of their online channels and the monetization that is happening. What PubLive does, and very successfully, they launched only 1.5 years ago, is now a journalist starts writing on this platform. While the journalist is writing, the platform gives the SEO score to the journalist for his or her article live. Okay? The journalist is able to correct keywords. Some of the keywords need to be backlinked to the articles that have appeared on that subject in the same publication digitally. Provides those backlinks. Okay? This goes on the platform to the editor, who corrects it online and says, yes, you can go ahead, right? Comes back to the journalist, who immediately, because of AI, can translate into any amount of languages. Okay, so the publishing can go online immediately. Not only that, suggests web stories on the basis of 500 written words along with visuals. Suggests the social media post constructed by AI on the basis of those 500 words immediately. And also suggests how the newsletter needs to be written about that article within minutes or seconds. And the journalist's job is done, and the speed of execution and whatever. And interestingly, from, this is the thing, when you're looking at a business model, what they've also done is, they've done a deal with the cloud service provider to ensure that all this is cheaper for a publisher to do it through their platform in terms of just the cloud costs that they have. So this is how the world of publishing is being changed by this particular business model, which is totally based on Gen AI. Right? Another one, which is an opportunity which has come up on account of, so you've heard of cookieless world. You know that at some point in time cookies are going to go away. You've heard of issues such as data privacy. So APRO is a platform which has for the last 2 years worked on collaborating data, and I think they have 50 million or more data points. They've gone and collected data from a credit card company, from a credit bureau, from online e-commerce store, from a credit card company, from a telecom company, and put together these categories in anonymized data, which any one of you or any one of the marketeers sitting over here can go and have access to from a understanding consumer insight perspective, which is not based on interest, which is based on actual data. So they're getting actual data about a consumer, and they have 1200 data points about a consumer through which you can actually match cohorts and then target them. Target them through Facebook, target them through Gmail, target them through Google advertising. It's going to revolutionize the way marketing is being done. They've also launched about a year and a half ago, and wherever they're going, they're demonstrating great results on either cost per sale going down. I think they work with Domino's, and whatever work they've done on the basis of per billing, the average billing has gone up, for Domino's, for example. For HDFC Bank, they work with cost of acquisitions come down. That's the kind of work that's happening, which is the speed of analytics and this whole thought that we can put all this data together in one place with all the data privacy and security concerns, taken care of, anonymized data. That's the world of tech and the new things that are happening. There are many more examples I have. I just chose to spoke about the two of these to tell you that the world around us is changing, dramatically, and this is what enables all the experiences that we're discussing. Very quickly, one more concept. He's told me I've got 25 more minutes to go. The last one is very important and impacts all of us, which is rise of the zero consumer. How many of you have heard of the concept called zero consumer? I'm very delighted. Just look up. I won't take credit for this. McKinsey coined it. They have a whole lovely article. I'm going to summarize it in the next 2 minutes for you, but I seriously recommend you read what they're writing about. Now this is what they have to say. What is a zero consumer? And this, now you'll realize what they mean by that. Zero consumer has zero boundaries, full digital experience. We expect as consumers that when I go onto the Nike site and I do some conversation over there, then I walk onto a Nike store, they should know about that if I decide to give my email ID or phone number to them. And then I go to US and then I walk into the Nike store again and I say, look, I did this inquiry and I bought this product over there and I have an issue with it. Can you please, solve or repair or give me a replacement? I expect that they should know my size. That's the expectation we are creating across financial services portals. That is a zero consumer with those kind of expectations. Zero loyalty. We've seen that during COVID. It changed the way we bought things because it was convenient to us. We moved to online video instead of coming into office. Today, for example, till about 8 months ago, everything in my house used to come from Big Basket. Today, everything in my house is coming from Blinkit. Okay, so it's more convenient, it's simplifying my life, it may be charging me more, but that's how I shift my loyalty. This is zero consumer for you, right? Zero mid-range. Scrimp and splurge at the same time. I will go and buy something worth $1 lakh, but I will negotiate $500 and I will change my airline ticket for the sake of $1,000. And I don't even need this thing in my life that I bought for $1 lakh. Right? I'm the same consumer. Many such examples. And the fact that this consumer is concerned about net zero, so sustainability, values and ethics of brands that you're dealing with is becoming important. I may not pay a premium for sustainable brands, but everything else being equal, I will choose the brand which I think has greater focus on sustainability. That's who Indian consumer is today. Things may change tomorrow. Yeah? So think about the zero consumer, because this whole Phygital experience, creating customer experiences for this consumer. So you need to reimagine the omni-channel world that you have to cater to them. You need to revamp your propositions to get their loyalty. You need to ramp up the personalization at scale, because that's when you will get into this mode of where they want to spend, where they want to scrimp, and reshape the societal footprint. That's extremely important also, and I want marketeers everywhere that I speak, and I tell them that you've got to have that charge inside your organization, to tell them how sustainability is becoming more important. I'm going to run through this very quickly so that I can take a few questions from you guys before the panel comes here. But all this could not have happened without the enablers and ecosystem. PubLive would not have managed to do this, except that Gen AI really happened and got launched. They wouldn't have been managed to build the platform and the capability, that they did. And I think the most important one is the data revolution, but not just the data revolution, the technology, also the cost of data transfer going lower. That is a critical point. I always ask this question when somebody tells me new technology. We were just discussing 3D printers a little while, and some of them will tell you. The first question I ask is it enterprise grade? Enterprise grade means I can use it easily. I don't have to code. And secondly, it's available at a cost that I can sustain. These are the two very important things, right? In India, I think Geo and the data democratization role, I put down, data pricing, the number of internet users, data consumption, the digital service and ecosystem, and the digital payments ecosystem, the way that's changed. I don't have the time, but I think the other important thing that's changing our lives is gaming, especially for the younger audiences and what's happening over there. So that's another industry that we must watch out for. Just the speed with which things have started happening now are absolutely amazing for me. Incidentally, I share my birthday with ChatGPT. You can look up what date they got launched. That's also my date of birth. So it's very friendly to me. Some of the team members that I have joke with me and they say ChatGPT has a relationship with you. This is on the gaming side, just to tell you the potential and the opportunities that exist in terms of where the world is going. And how has this happened in how many years? Any idea when was the term MarTech used for the first time? Without looking up on Google so quickly. Just 2011. You want to take a guess how many MarTech, marketing technology products or brands or platforms are available today? In just 12-13 years? Just for marketing. Just for the use of brand managers, CMOs, digital marketing? 11,000. And counting. I also suspect this number is close to 18,000. I remember reading that, but I couldn't find that chart, to show to you guys. Okay, this one I told you. That's I'm going to take questions, but you can reach me on social media. Just remember, my surname is spelled with double A, and I would urge you to listen to the podcast. It's with Indian CEOs. Most leadership models and books that you will read about are based on learnings from American CEOs, very few even on European CEOs. The Indian CEOs' experiences and how they learn and how they do things is not captured anywhere. We don't as yet have a book on that. We have it on promoters, we have it on founders, but not on the CEOs. So that's a niche, and which is why my podcast is quite popular. We haven't spent a single rupee on promoting the podcast, and it does have lakhs of listens. Do listen to the podcast. You can just type my name and type podcast. We've done a very good SEO. You'll find the podcast. Questions. I'm told that I have time only for 2 or 3 questions. Yes, please. Can we give him a mic?
Right, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so ma'am, we've talked about Uplive and Agro. I think both Agro. So I think both of them are fairly new businesses.
Yes.
And so my question is, after we get placed, most of us will probably go back to some well-established businesses. And how do we identify these opportunity gaps between data and tech and maybe harness them profitably?
What a great question. I think two ways. One is that hopefully you will be a brand manager somewhere and a marketing manager somewhere. I don't think the challenge will be in the first 4 or 5 years. The challenge starts after that. We stop listening to new ideas. We don't give time to people who are doing some new things. We don't spend time understanding and listening to what they're doing, because with every Uplive you're also going to get 20 other ideas which will not work for you, or maybe too expensive, or whatever. And they are not the only ones. There are many more. So you need to invest time into listening to new ideas. You can listen to them because they're in any case trying to reach out to you. So they are doing a good job of marketing themselves, hopefully. Or you can listen to them by ensuring that you spend time personally by talking to people in the industry, by talking to your peers. This is what I would request you to do, 10 years from now. But great question to ask. And this is my observation that once you hit the 15 and 20 year mark, there's this famous Marshall Goldsmith book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There, right? Unfortunately, we are in that trap, okay? We've become a head of marketing, we've been very successful in the past, and we just want to use the same formula over and over again. So that trap, the mental trap, is what you need to, fight against. Any other question? Yes, sir. You have to write the question. Okay, great.
Zero maintenance customer you have.
Zero consumer.
Zero consumer and zero maintenance. You will always fight for 10,000 rupees, less than 10,000 rupees, or you will find 50,000 rupees under us. So in the sense of that, how we, it's a consumer behavior pattern. That is what companies are trying to figure out. We may be lacking a lot of gaps. If we figure it out, we may have a personalized option. That's why most of the companies are lagging behind. So how are we going to make this possible? Because everybody likes personalization. If a company gives a 10,000 or 1,000 rupees offer and things which I like, when I get an offer, so the purchase of immediate purchase is more high. So how the companies want to differentiate it? Because they lack the data, how they personalize, they have how to chart it. So that's my doubt. How are you going to make it? Even though there are 11K companies there, they're not figuring it out yet.
11K companies are for marketing technology tools. That's got nothing to do with how the brand manager or the CEO makes choices of what your pricing strategy is going to be. That's got to do with risk appetite. That's got to do with understanding of the consumer. But even before that, the challenge that we have is that we like to bucket consumers into certain slots. To say, cheap buyer, high discount. More expensive buyer or ultra HNI, discounts don't matter. That's not true. There needs to be a realization that the category may move differently despite the demographic profile of the consumer. Okay, so that realization is what I'm talking about, because a lot of companies don't have that. The second issue that we have is that the consumer choices may change in a year or two. We tend to have these category truths, ice creams are sold this way, this is the kind of discounts that you need to do on cooking oils, this is the way you don't do discounts on insurance, or that, these are the kind of discounts we have for medical, supplies, this requires a discount, this doesn't. You need to challenge your own category learnings and truths to be able to arrive and understand that how the zero consumer is behaving today can change tomorrow. It's not necessary, and that when you're offering different categories to them, their behaviors are different. So that's the point I'm really making. Yeah. Any other question, or can we have the panel here now? Can I give this back to you girls? Yeah. Any other burning question? Okay, one last one there. I always point this out, and it's interesting that all the three questions came to me, not from girls. Okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you have talked about the challenges or technological challenges that you face while trying to implement continuous segmentation. My question is, what are organizational challenges in accepting such new technologies?
Of course. I mean, goes without saying. I think all of us over tea and coffee, maybe not at a formal forum, will share enough number of anecdotes with you about how some people buy into it, some people focus more on risk, some people focus more on cost. An organization is a group of people who are taking decisions on technology that is going to last you for, let's say, X number of years. Which technology to bank on? Which platform within that technology to bank on? Okay, so it is a challenge. You get it right, sometimes you get it wrong also.
Ma'am, I have a follow-up question. Ma'am,
Yes.
what was different with Mahindra that
not exist in 2006 and 7? Like somebody could have imagined the PubLive word, and the founder did imagine PubLive much ahead of its time. That's why he was able to launch it just after ChatGPT, right? It's just that ChatGPT or GenAI made it possible for him to bring his thoughts into life. Thank you very much. Thank you. I've enjoyed being here. Back to you, girls.
Starting with Mr. Rajesh Srivastava. Mr. Srivastava is the head of marketing communications at Nissan Motors with over 20 years of extensive experience in the mobility sector. Mr. Srivastava possesses a wealth of expertise in various aspects of marketing and strategy. His functional competencies include strategy formulation, P&L management, portfolio management, new product launches, and go-to-marketing strategies. Additionally, he has a strong focus on sales enablement, customer insights, and digital and precision marketing, complemented by his proficiency in integrated marketing, communications, and event management. Before his tenure at Nissan India, Mr. Srivastava held diverse roles in sales and marketing at leading organizations such as CL Tires, Ford India, and Honda Motorcycle and Scooter India. Mr. Srivastava holds a bachelor's degree in statistics, physics, and chemistry from Kanpur University, as well as a postgraduate diploma in business administration with a specialization in marketing from Manipal IT Education. He has further enhanced his credentials by completing an executive postgraduate diploma in management from IIT New Delhi. Now, I request Mr. Rajesh Srivastava sir to please come up on the stage and take your seat.
Up next we have Mr. Somen Das, Associate Director and Marketing Head at Cipla. Mr. Das is an award-winning and top-performing sales and marketing professional with over 16 years of industry experience, working with leading companies. With a proven track record in the successful launch of new products, customer-focused therapy-shaping initiatives, and life cycle management of mega brands, Mr. Das has demonstrated proficiency in building portfolios across various acute and chronic therapy areas. He is currently serving as the head of marketing at Cipla, overseeing the marketing function of a prime respiratory division. Prior to Cipla, Mr. Das served as marketing manager at Abbott, managing a mega brands portfolio and delivered sustainable business growth. He holds an MBA in marketing from IMT Ghaziabad, an MSc in biotechnology from Anna University, and a BSc in biotechnology from Burdwan University, West Bengal. Additionally, Mr. Das has completed executive program in marketing from IIM Ahmedabad, a senior marketer program from SP Jain Institute of Management, and strategic marketing program from Innovara.
Next we have Ms. Charu Malhotra. Ms. Charu Malhotra is the Chief Brand Officer and Group Head of Marketing at APL Apollo Tubes Limited, a leading name in the steel industry. With over 20 years of experience, Ms. Malhotra is a seasoned marketing professional with a diverse background across sectors such as FMCG, banking, and building materials. Known for her passion for building brands and driving ROI, she has been instrumental in enhancing brand equity and leading comprehensive brand strategies at prominent organizations, including Amway, Citigroup, and Somani Ceramics. In her previous role at Hindware Limited, Ms. Malhotra spearheaded the successful relaunch of Hindware Italian, further establishing her expertise in brand revitalization. Currently, as Chief Brand Officer at APL Apollo Tubes, she leads the entire marketing spectrum covering steel tubes, pipes, roofing solutions, and PVC pipes and fittings, driving innovation and growth in the steel industry. Ms. Malhotra's contributions exemplify her dedication to excellence in marketing and brand development. Ma'am, I kindly request you to please come up on the stage.
Up next we have Mr. Prabhakar Tiwari, the Chief Growth Officer at Angel One. Mr. Tiwari spearheads the company's accelerated growth initiatives, focusing on brand development, performance marketing, sales management, and digital transformation. Under his strategic leadership, Angel One has ascended to a top 3 position, establishing itself as a prominent player in the fintech sector. Before joining Angel One, Mr. Tiwari held influential roles across some of India's leading brands, including Marico, PayU, and CL. He has consistently demonstrated expertise in elevating brand performance, bringing a wealth of knowledge and insight to his current role. In addition to his corporate achievements, Sir actively contributes to the broader business community as a jury member, panelist, and keynote speaker. He holds a gold medal in marketing from IIM Bangalore, a testament to his academic excellence. Beyond his professional life, Sir is an avid reader, biker, and adventure seeker, balancing his passion for learning and exploration with his commitment to professional excellence. Now I would like to request Mr. Prabhakar Tiwari, sir, to kindly come up on the stage.
Up next we have Ms. Shilpi Kapoor. Ms. Shilpi is the Chief Marketing Officer at Airtel Payments Bank. She leads the marketing and corporate communication function for the bank. Ma'am is responsible for planning, developing, implementing, and monitoring the overall business marketing strategy. She also overlooks market research, pricing, product marketing, marketing communications, advertising, and public relations. Ms. Shilpi is a member of the executive committee of the bank. She brings over 19 years of progressive experience in brand management, sales, and marketing with BFSI, telecom, auto, and FMCG brands. She is an alumnus of Amity University and has completed special programs in leadership excellence and digital marketing from Harvard Business School and Northwestern University. I request you, ma'am, to please come up on the stage. Once again, we would like to request Ruchi ma'am to please come up on the stage and felicitate our panelists with a token of appreciation.
Thank you, ma'am. We now request Mr. Pariprekshya’24 sir to lead the session.
Yeah, hi, very good afternoon to you all. Great, so after hearing from the student club and Dipali, I think our panel is all ready, take on the challenge to take you to the depth of this topic further. And it's kind of my humble job to ensure that, all questions or whatever is kind of in your mind or important for you at this juncture are answered, and we'll also have time for question and answer. So very quickly, Phygital marketing is a term coined during 2010, around that point of time. And most importantly, new technologies were coming, as Dipali also mentioned, and those were used to create newer realms of customer experience and engagement. And Apple, Nike were among the first to leverage it, and now it's everywhere. That is there. I asked ChatGPT to tell me a joke on Phygital marketing. While there were many jokes, some of those I showed to Dipali. But something very interesting, which could be nightmarish also, or could be something blessing in disguise, is that consumer comes to your physical store, they scan the QR code to know more about the product they're about to choose, and then they go to your website and completely buy something completely different and check out. I don't know it's a good thing or bad thing for you as a marketeer or a business person, but that can also happen in the world of physical marketing. So let me get into this right away and ask with this appetizer question, with a brief answer so that we can get to kind of this topic. Like, how do we combine, both the offline and digital experience to build a cohesive customer journey? So in your experience, how is this framework, actually working? So let's start from Ruchi. Yeah, sorry. Good. Chalo.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to set the context here. And while we've been privy to, the thoughts that students have, they've presented it very well. But I guess the panel will obviously delve deeper into the insights as well as use a lot of use cases that we've come across through our journey to explain this better. So, see, the customer today is spoiled for choice. So there's information overload everywhere, all brands, and he's overwhelmed with all the information around him. All brands try to catch his attention. And while today the consumer definitely wants brands to handhold him through the consumer journey, at the same time he's just not buying into the product. he is buying into the overall experience that he gets through that purchase journey, and he wants that experience to be memorable, happy, and at the end he also wants to be celebrated, or at the least he wants the brands to celebrate him with the purchase that he's made. And therefore, right now, the brands need to understand those nudges, to talk to him, to communicate to him, to catch his attention via right data and tech interventions. And here the word right is very, very important, because otherwise technology, there's a bombardment of technology everywhere. So it's important for us to understand the kind of business that we are in, what kind of tech intervention will really make sense for him. And therefore, when we talk about Phygital, we're talking about that cohesive consumer journey across offline and online interactions that probably increases the chance of, or increases the probability of purchase from that particular brand. And I'll try and take some real life examples here. I've been a part of building material for the last more than a decade now. And we start from the first step where we talk about the first triggers of advertising. While conventional advertising still, at least for building materials, still makes a lot of sense. But then apart from that, it is also important for brands to kind of catch the consumer on his private screens, on whatever platforms he is there on. And hyper-personalization is the key. So whether it is through your existing CRMs that you use AI tools, or other data sets that you kind of marry, it is important that you send personalized communication to him based on his past behavior, so that he gets interested into your brand, into your product. Coming forward, we talk about the evaluation stage, where he's actually understood what you make, what your product is. We're talking about sequentially reaching out to him via programmatic. We're talking about being present there on sponsored Amazon listings. We're talking about key opinion leaders at bath brands, for example, or interior or tiles brands, for example. Product like tiles, product like bathware, bathrooms, bath spaces. Key influencers like architects play a very important role. And here it is important that I flash out the user-generated content to him, whether it is on social media conversations, whether it is on in-store experience that when he walks into a store. It's important that those experts give him that advice for him to get conviction on the bath spaces, because now that homes have acquired a new meaning and it's a very high involvement purchase, just like any other consumer durable. And people want to be highly involved in the purchase that they are making, the brands that they are actually choosing. So this kind of content which immediately catches his attention and basis his past browsing behavior also gives him personalized suggestions has been a part of the overall journey there. And then we come to the last stage when we're talking about him entering the store, because it's a highly touch and feel product. So we observed that while 80 to 90% of searches were happening online, but still at that final point, he would want to go to the store to kind of purchase the product because he wants to have a look at it. And that's where you have those other tech interventions like your ARs and VRs, where he can actually experience the product, how it would look in his bath space, and go ahead with it. And then finally wrap it up, once he's made the purchase, finally wrap it up and celebrate the customer and onboard him onto a loyalty program wherein you again kind of start the journey and make him ready for any other future purchase. So that's how the tech interventions are kind of paving a way for a more seamless and cohesive journey for the consumers.
Yeah, so Charu, very interestingly, what you're trying to establish that you're not buying a product, you're buying an experience, and that makes a lot of a difference, whether it is a physical or a digital thing. And second important thing you said is that it's not that it's like 75% online, 25% offline. This is how a cohesive customer journey is built. It's basically ongoing interaction of online, offline, depending on the unique customer journey. So both these points very well established. I would request Rajesh to kind of answer the same question on how to build cohesive journey through these experiences.
Thank you, Charu. So I will just add what Charu was saying. So few things we have to understand. We as a marketer, we have to stay relevant as a brand. And to stay relevant, there are three things which comes to my mind, and that is what I would like to add to Charu. One is the market dynamics. Because the technology is evolving, the customer needs are evolving, competition is always challenging, and hence you have to actually keep yourself relevant, and you have to take those steps or necessary steps to keep yourself relevant. If I look at when mobile was not there, it is not that telecommunication was not available, it was there, but it was more of a phone call or a landline. But because today the technology has evolved, and hence it gives you an opportunity to actually go closer to the customer and find out multiple avenues to actually interact with the customer. The second point which I will try to establish is blurring line between the industries. Today it is not that you say I am an automobile and my competition is only an automobile brand. Even a ride-hailing app is my competition, because if people are taking a ride-hailing app or ride-sharing app, it is actually my car ownership or car buyer will actually reduce. So it is a competition. Nobody would have thought that Airtel as a telecom partner will go in payments. Correct? So competition is evolving. Today we are sitting on 9th of November and Dipali ma'am established a lot of dates. And there was one big thing happened on 9th of November. 2016, 8th November, late night, there was an announcement that it is a demonetization. And what happened? All the banks which actually had to give your money, they were not giving, and Paytm and other payment gateways actually established, flourished. That is the second point. Third point what I would like to establish is the convergence. What is convergence? You know there is a calculator, there is a telecom, there is audio, video, everything is converged to mobile. And that convergence will keep happening. If your category, your brand is not relevant, then somebody will come and it will eat. So have breakfast or be breakfast. And with that strategy, you have to look at where the convergence is happening. Like I mean automobile. Automobile and mobile, both are connecting people. And these two will converge, and that is why if you look at any automobile ad today is not talking about the mileage, the engine. They are talking about ADAS, they are talking about services, they are talking about other factors which is not core to the automobile, and more on technology. So these are the three things which we have to understand. And then we have to look at how we stay relevant in the market so that we are competitive enough as a brand. Thank you.
Very interesting, Rajesh, and I think something which is very inspiring is like sometimes this Phygital thing just are not just marketing, they create a new category altogether. Like you talked about Uber. It's like everyone's private chauffeur. Like, the physical experience of owning automobile is that, it's in your garage whenever you want to take it out. And, but now with Uber, with the app, it can be, at your doorstep, within the time you want. Like it's the online, offline combination which is there. So now I would like to, Sumen to answer the same question that, how this offline and digital experience are brought together for a cohesive customer journey.
Correct. So I think I'll put forward a few examples from the healthcare industry where I belong to. And I believe that the beauty of blending this online and offline experiences actually lies with the ability, how do we fetch the data, how do we understand the data, and then how do we utilize. So for healthcare segment, it is furthermore important that we understand the customer. Here for our customer is the doctor, and if you see the consumer, for other industries it may be the same in both of the segment, but for here the pill which is being consumed by the patients. So we need to deal with the doctor and the patients as customer and consumer. So I'll give you a few examples like how in recent time this blending has started happening. Now, like I said, what type of patient they want to treat, combining both, then we specifically target the patient as well. We have started doing that. that in this particular geography or that localized area, who are the doctor you can go for an in-person consultation. And once that patient is directed towards a particular doctor, then doctor is giving some prescription. What type of prescription? That data is coming to us. Whether the prescription is being honored at the local chemist or via e-pharmacies, that data is coming to us. Whether the patient is even purchasing the whole lot of pill which has been prescribed for certain duration, that data is coming to us. Now combining all those data, we understand if the patient is using the product or the devices or the drug the way it has been prescribed, and even for the time frame for which the doctor has asked him to continue. So those type of data is giving us a clear indication that do we need to again go back to the patient and nudge them that either you need a follow-up with the doctor or you need to follow up a repeat purchase with the chemist. And that happens multiple ways. We also take the help of the healthcare provider to give him a call. We can ask the chemist person to give him a call, and even our digital tool is helping to give them a reminder. Once that repeat purchase or repeat follow-up is happening, then actually we are trying to make the patient more adhere to the therapy and ultimately ensuring the patient care happens. Now all this type of digital and physical experiences are combining and that is ultimately helping the patient for a full-filler treatment. And if you see, even I forgot to mention, after even nudging the patient, whether the medicine will come from the e-pharmacies or the medicine will come from the nearest chemist at the doorstep at the patient comfort, that is also being influenced by the marketing. And in the recent time we have seen, if you look into this patient journey from patient were searching for a disease treatment, going to the doctor, purchasing, then nudging them, then getting the medicine delivered at the doorstep. In this entire customer journey, there are multiple touch points which is being implemented. Our marketing team is working on those so that patient adherence becomes very, very critical. Once that is being solved, we are delivering the better healthcare for the customer. So unlike earlier time where it is only a medical representative going, promoting the brand, doctor is prescribing, and that's over. But nowadays, a lot of digital data is coming into the picture so that the entire customer journey is being addressed.
No, very interesting, Somen. I think better healthcare, like how do you ensure that it is delivered? So you're not just making medicine or equipment devices, but you're delivering better healthcare. And you can understand from what Somen was sharing that how many customer journeys are possible, how many ways in which it can orchestrate. So as you said, like whether it comes to you from an e-pharmacist or comes from a nearby pharmacy, so the pill could be bitter, but it will be delivered to you better thanks to all the Phygital marketing that Somen and his team does. Now, Shilpi, same question to you. How do you use the digital and offline aspects of your business to build a cohesive customer journey?
Sure. Thank you so much for that. And I think it's a very interesting panel, especially I think, how you guys really presented the concept and then followed by Dipali with a very interesting anecdotal presentation of how we've, moved in the last 30 years. So I think for us, and especially in banking and the various industries that I've been, I think what's most important to understand is that how has the customer expectation really changed from brands, and not just banking, but banking, telecom, FMCG. So in a classic example, if you go back in time, if somebody needed a leave or, bunch of 4 or 5 hours in the morning, for a typical excuse, everybody would say, I have some work at the bank. Everybody, and it would be assumed that it will be like 4 or 5 hours. It can be post-lunch because, the bank office has gone for lunch, or somebody's sewing some sweaters, and so on and so forth. Cut to right now. I don't remember the last time I went to a branch, right? Everything is happening digitally. Earlier, you needed to apply for a passport. You had to go to the bank, get a stamp on your 6-month statement, bunch of things like that. All your documentations, everything used to happen physically. Stamping, proofs, everything used to happen in a physical format. What is happening right now? in this digital space. I'll give you any of you, each one of you who goes and does digital transactions, you scan a QR code, the amount gets debited, you get a notification on your WhatsApp, you get a message that the amount has been deducted on your SMS. You parallelly want your reward points of whatever card that you've used to get updated, and just in case your transaction has gotten failed or stuck, what is your expectation? The expectation is that when you're calling up the call center, that person who's picking up your call should know what you've been through. That's what we're talking in terms of expectation. He doesn't care that, I don't know what happened, which transaction are you talking about. Now the customer expectation is very clear. You should know, I am Shilpi Kapoor, I transacted at so-and-so shop at 4:15. I did a transaction of 5,728 rupees. It got failed at this and this merchant. What happened? Has my amount been deducted? Is it on hold? Are you going to give it back to me? Or should I pay again? Right? So that's the kind of real-time integration that we're talking about. And that's the expectation, and that's as digital and as real life that you can imagine. Because one, the customers at the store, and you're calling up somebody at the call center, but all the other parallel transactions are working seamlessly, right? So I think as brands have evolved, and of course there's huge gap to be filled in terms of how we integrate these two. But I would keep it brief in saying that brands have really evolved from what I was just telling you. Going to the bank, now that excuse doesn't matter with the way technology has evolved, right? Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, this is a big question whenever digital payment fails, and they do fail. That's a situation. But great. Great to see that the way you guys are ensuring that the customer journeys are intact, the CRM is intact, the information is real time, and all the options in which the intervention can be done is available. So that's awesome. Now my next question is to Charu.
AR was obviously not there, and we just started hearing about how the virtual reality is working for few industries. And we were the first ones to launch a tile visualizer for our tiles brand. And while it was a very, very novel concept, and all our customers, showroom people, employees, everybody was very excited. There were also a lot of challenges that I would talk about in the later part of my conversation. And this tile visualizer helped you to visualize spaces with different tile combinations. Any tile brand, for example, selling over more than 3,000, 4,000 SKUs, and what is it that you want to choose, what combination you want to choose, you could actually see that at the comfort of your home, or walk up to any showroom where there would be an expert who would guide you through how you can actually choose a living room tile for your space, or a bathroom tile, or a bedroom tile. And while there were challenges to kind of making them learn how to use this at the showrooms, but then we got a very, very positive response in terms of from the showrooms, that in case there was a customer who came and chose combinations from this VR tool, that kiosk that we had created at most of these showrooms, was 100% buying into the product, and this purchase was happening, it was 100%. And that's how we kind of moved forward from there. So that was like about 12 years back. And today when we talk about the AR, the augmented reality, obviously the technology is drastically improved and moved on, and we're talking about people actually, talking about, again, another example from a bath industry, where we launched this AR tool about a couple of years back, where the consumer could choose bath products, and it was AI integrated, so you also had suggestive selling happening from there. And a customer could also choose from pre-designed themes to make his bath space, or create his own bathroom basis his budget, whatever he had put in. So a lot of AI integration into AR also helps splurge sales for us for this AR. And Next, when I talk about the AI, so while chatbots and virtual assistants are basics now, because consumer wants to be attended to a brand anytime that he wants a response to his query. So while these are basics, but then there are brands who are going ahead in terms of using CRM-based marketing, using predictive analytics, predictive algorithms. So again an example to share where in one of the bath brands that I was working with, we were sitting on loads of consumer data from past 10 years. And so once you divide it amongst in cohorts of 0 to 6 months, 6 months to 2 years, 5 years, obviously basis using his past purchase behavior, you could figure out what to upsell, what to cross-sell, and there was it was a completely different stream of revenue that we could actually bring in that company basis just using lots and lots of data with the AI, and it was a huge success for us. So that's for bath, and likewise we share examples of Lenskart, very interesting example that we see of AR today, and there's another very interesting example that comes to my mind is of cosmetics brands like L'Oreal, like Sephora. You walk into the store today and they map your face, the face mapping tool that's there, and instead of you doing the hard work of choosing the right lipstick shade for you, they would suggest what suits basis your facial features, basis your complexion, etc., etc. So consumers voice for choice. And it's all these immersive experiences that will actually lead to purchase from the brands, and I think many brands are doing a great job out of it.
Great, Charu. I think you talked about how digital strategies are superior, and more importantly, there are 2-3 important things you communicated very beautifully. So first is like, there is always a knowledge gap, or there is experience gap, or there is some queries customers have, like the way you said in the kiosk, the sale just took off, in the space, physical space versus kiosk, what is possible. The second important thing is that, you said technology has certain curve, like maybe initially 12 years back, the technology was not so perfect. And also that's the reason why there's a lot of scope for the startups, because of course Lenskart can use augmented reality, virtual reality, but if someone can better it, they can have a play. And third and the most important thing is that it's a bundle of technology which comes together, to really create the cohesive customer journey the way you spoke about, right? So now moving on to Somain. Somain, how does digital marketing enhance customer engagement in healthcare industry, and how has it evolved over the years?
So, digital marketing is really playing a big role in terms of bridging up the gap between offline and online experiences and the customer engagement, and especially in healthcare segment. Why so? Because healthcare traditionally has been an offline-driven sector, but now if you look into last few years, both our consumer and customer has started utilizing physical and digital tools very beautifully, whether it is to access the data, to read about the medical content, even visiting a doctor to consult, and also for any decision making which is happening in the healthcare industry. Both of the parties are using it very quite often. And in the recent years, if you see, there is a huge shift which is happening towards utilizing the online platform because of the increased access to the medical content, digital content. There are a lot of platforms are being used, so it is changing. And at the same time, in this juncture, how company like ours are actually trying to play an important role is that one side is the doctor, one side is the patient. So I'll take the example of a doctor first. So earlier time, if you see, doctors used to get update from the medical representative or maybe attending some conferences. But now, virtue of the digital data which is available with us for each and every doctor, we are segmenting them, we are targeting them it has evolved like physical and digital. It has evolved like physical and digital things mixing together to serve them in a better way. One side they are getting the things digitally, but in-person relationship is also playing an important role, and that's how I think in the recent time we have seen, even after the digital era has started impacting healthcare, the physical aspect of the sector still holds very strong. At the patient side, if you see, there are a lot of patient access programs which our company does in terms of screening the patient, making them or giving them the recommended drug of choice, then adhering to the therapy. So all those things are again happening from both digital and physical side. I can talk a little bit more later on in some other topic, but a lot of things are happening at the patient's level as well. Yesterday night when we were discussing, I was giving an example that how it has evolved. Just take an example of glucometer. Somebody is having diabetes. Earlier, the glucometer, how we used to monitor the glucose level? By pricking in your hand or finger, then blood strips are there. Those type of glucometers are available with the doctor or in certain labs. Then the era came that every diabetic patient, they used to carry a glucometer at least at their home. Now it has started happening that I was with Abbott for around close to 11 years. We had patches, glucose monitoring patches, which you can put it in your hand. Continuously the blood glucose levels are being monitored in your app. That app data is continuously getting transmitted to the doctor. Any imbalance you see, you contact the doctor. Doctor is reading through the data for over the last 3 months or 6 months, and they are modifying the treatment. So those things are evolving, and I think a wearable, those type of product has been evolved in every therapy areas, whether it is cardio, whether it is diabetes. There are multiple areas in which those wearable devices has come in place. At the same time, there are other examples. For an example, we talk about adherence. So how a patient will adhere to a therapy for a longer time or to the at least suitable time. Earlier there was no tool to measure the adherence. Now there are devices like home monitoring system. I come from a my organization, I work for a therapy area which is called as respiratory disease. Now there are home monitoring breathometers are available by which you can keep on monitoring whether your asthma is in control or not, and it can also tell you if you can get an exacerbation maybe another 7 days or 10 days time. Basis on those digital data, you can reach out to the doctor immediately, and even doctor can suggest that your medication need to be changed or not. So those type of predictive analysis has come into picture, and there are multiple such examples by which this physical form and digital form both are getting combined together to give a very smooth customer journey, I say.
Thanks, Somin. Very interesting. I think a lot of us are taking notes because we don't get to hear this kind of healthcare development very often, and this could be lifesaver for us and for family members. But more importantly, what you said, I think, is the one thing that is. It doesn't mean that if there are more and more technologies, the physical aspect of the customer journey will go away. It's like, you can make basmati putting a lot of new vegetables or spice, but you have to put rice, right? So same way, it's a very crude way of saying this, but if the doctor and MR relationship is important, or if the doctor and patient trust is important, you cannot take that away. Despite all the technological advancement. So the next question is to Shilpi that, how can analytics and data be leveraged for, taking phygital marketing to the next level?
Sure, thanks for that. So I think banks really have access to all the data. They know where you shop, where you go, what you eat, what is your date of birth. Like Dipali was mentioning, she's yet to receive an offer from a bank on her birthday. But having said that, I think what banks have realized, we're all sitting on data mines, right? And with this integration of the customer data that we have, there is a lot of customization which is happening. So I'll take 2 examples here. Now, through the Airtel app, we know that the customer is using a metro. The customer is using, paying at the parking. The customer is dining at a particular restaurant. The customer is doing a QCOM transaction. Now what happens, basis that data gets integrated into the system, and then we give prompts to the customer or give him customized solutions saying that, hey, While you're paying for, so many car parkings, we suggest that why don't you buy a FASTag, right? FASTag will save you money. I'll take this mic one. A FASTag saves you a lot of money. It's very convenient. You don't have to top it up every now and then. You can set a limit, say, 5,000 rupees a month. You can cross tolls, etc. It'll get updated. It gets linked to your bank account. So that's one. Second, if you are, if you are traveling by the metro, the other option there is that why don't you go into the app and take an NCMC card. And what is an NCMC card? This is the card which you can use across all modes of transport. That's the transit solution that banks have started providing. You can order it through your app. You can get it recharged through the app. You can go at the metro station, get the card delivered. You can again recharge the card at the app. So you don't need anything else except that card. Now we've also gone a step further with that in terms of PIN codes, right? So just to give you a little background about the payments bank model, what happens is payments bank got licenses because they wanted to provide empowerment and inclusion to the last mile, right? People staying in tier 5, tier 6 cities who don't have access to banks. Their nearest bank branch, as per the last statistics, was 30 kilometers. So if somebody wanted to go and withdraw cash or open a bank account, he had to lose on that day's wage, go, and then of course the bank may or may not be open. That's how payments bank were given licenses, and they were typically given to companies which had deep distribution. So Airtel has a distribution system which is really strong, so we could connect the last mile. Now what is there as a banking model is that we have a banking correspondent who is your retailer, right? He has an Aadhaar enabled device where you can just put your thumb, everybody has an Aadhaar number, your bank account is open. You can go there, withdraw cash, you can transfer money. That comes really helpful to blue collar workers who come to cities like Delhi, Mumbai to work. They want to transfer money back. They can't do it during the during the hours that they're working, which is from 9 to 7. Then they go back to their nearest outlet. They put in their thumb impression. They can transfer or remit money to their village or wherever they want to remit that money. Now, how is that helping? Is that just in case I have a digital bank account, but I want to withdraw cash. What is it that I can do? I can go into checking into the PIN code and saying, okay, I'm at this PIN code right now. Where is my nearest retail outlet? And I will get a list. And then I can just go there. So they serve as banking points for us. You don't need a physical ATM. So basically, I think how this is really solved for the customer, you're giving access. And you're also giving convenience at fingertips. So people are not waiting in long queues. A lot of people, especially in rural areas, are very scared to go into ATMs. There was this huge research where even if you give an ATM card to somebody who's staying in a smaller town, they're very scared that there is this air-conditioned room where nobody is sitting. There's this big machine which 1 out of 5 times eats up your card and you don't know what happened. Right? So when you go to your nearest retailer, this Sharma ji ki dukaan or whatever else, you know him, you just need to put in your thumb and there's a small device and you can withdraw cash, right? So this is how seamlessly all your bank accounts just based on your Aadhaar is integrated. And on the urban side, there are these technology interventions which is your NCMC card, FASTag, etc., which is given to you basis, the kind of transactions that you're doing.
Yeah, thanks Shilpi. I think something what Shilpi shared, banking is a universal need. And more importantly now, a lot more of our life is influenced by digital, or we're living digitally. And the brand and the sector like what Shilpi represents, I mean, they would like to get as much information from your digital life as possible and would like to serve you better. But one thing I would like to highlight from my own experience from FinTech, that this nudge and everything is all right, but you cannot, overdo it. You cannot spam it, and that's where a lot of analytics and data crunching, Gen AI, and a lot of other signals are important, where you are there at the right time, right place, talking about the right thing, and that will delight your customer, and the digital marketing experience would be awesome. Now, coming to automobile industry, Rajesh, how has digital marketing helped automobile industry to enhance the customer engagement from research to purchase? There's a long cycle and it's a high involvement category, high ticket category. Like how is digital marketing playing a role?
So this is a very good question. Just I will correct one point. It is not just research to purchase. Automobile as a category, we say even from research to purchase and then post-purchase. Because we always say customer for life. Why customer for life? Today who has come and purchased a car, tomorrow he can look at buying an additional car or replacing the car. So that is very important. Before I explain more about this, because it is more of students and they are the leaders of tomorrow, they need to understand it should be more engaging. In India, car buying still is like you have arrived in life and then you go and buy a car. That is the phenomena even today. Because the car possessive ratio in India even today is single digit, which is just 3%. 30 people among 1,000 in India owns a car. Correct? So car, if really you look at Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, people having 3, 2 or 5 cars at one home, different car for different purposes. But in India, still car buying is something which is like very big. Again, before coming to the question, I will also add one point and more of, because the student should know the category. In India, people invest in 5 key category or 5 key avenues, and which are the highly capital intensive category. Highest investment is on education, that is one of the category. Second is child marriage. Still in India, people invest a lot on child marriage. Pre-wedding, wedding, post-wedding, a lot is happening. Third comes to buying a house. It is still costly. Fourth comes to healthcare and insurance, because you need security in your life. You invest in healthcare, insurance, all that. And fifth, which is one of the 5, I won't say first, second. These are the 5 things. Car buying is still the top 5 investment or spends in your life. Now when it comes to the digital integration, it is divided into 3 core phases. Before the purchase, during the purchase and post-purchase. And in these 3 phases, we look at how actually we can engage the customer in each phases. Generally, we have divided customer into 3 kind of audience. We say in market, near market and future market. When I say in market, these are the people who are looking to buy a car, they are going for insurance, not insurance, for finance, they are checking for vehicles, the offers, other things, they are in the market, even aggregator sites they are visiting. Future market audience is something which is considering to buy a car, but not in near future, but they will buy. And near future is somewhere 3 months to 6 months, they are looking to buy a car. So once it comes to before purchasing the car, we are doing multiple media vehicle on paid, owned and earned to keep the awareness and consideration high. Once it comes to the showroom, he is visiting my showroom. We have created parallels. Rather than visiting physical showroom, you can go and you actually can go online and you can visit my showroom. All the product experience story, all the brand story is communicated. When you get inside the showroom, you actually do need analysis. Model, type, option, color, all that thing you actually look at the car. We have created a panel which is called configurator. You can go and create your own configurator, different features, different attributes you can look at. You can look about the key features, the benefit, and you can do comparison, variant A versus variant B versus variant C, and you can see what is your need, and accordingly you can decide. The next point comes to sales consultant. We have virtual sales consultant. You can even chat or you can do audio discussions, real time. Then comes to you are looking for finance option. Online you can do, because dealership also gives finance option. Online also you can look. What is the down payment you are looking? What is the EMI you can afford? What is the tenure you are looking? That all that calculation you can do online, and bases your appetite or your whatever down payment you can do or EMI you can afford, you can create a code. And once you create the code, you can submit. My finance team backend will actually start approaching you, all the documents will be taken online, and vehicle delivery and other process will start. So we have mapped everything. As you rightly said, everything cannot happen digitally. Car buying, as I said, is very important event in their life. They always look at making this event memorable. They generally come to the showroom for their car delivery. Higher the ticket size, they make say ABC date, XYZ date, you deliver at my place. Generally delivery, they always try to make it memorable. They come to the showroom and they take deliveries. And once the delivery is done, again the post-purchase start, where after sales, warranty, other maintenance packages, they start selling, so that customer remain engaged with us, not only once he bought, even for next 3 year, 4 year, and the vehicle retailership he has. So that is the way we are actually engaging the customer across the life cycle.
Thank you. I mean, all of us, at least us on the other side of life stage, we can relate to that. Buying a car is a costly but memorable exercise, and all the touch points are important. Otherwise, you feel cheated, in some way or other. So that's great. Now, all of you might be thinking that, I mean, we are talking so nicely about digital marketing from our respective companies. So you might think that Somen is the one who decides, that online people you do this, offline people you do this, or Rajesh does it in his organization. But that is not the case. Most of the time in organization there are silos, and there are multiple other challenges, which are there. So now this question comes to Charu, that how does organization break the silos between online and offline marketing teams so that a unified approach to digital marketing, can be delivered?
Yeah, so see, first of all, it's, as you correctly said, it's very, very important to have a unified brand communication and message across the platforms, across the online and the offline experiences. And at the same time, it is also a real life scenario where there are less synergies between online and offline platforms, which causes a disruption in the consumer's journey that he is actually looking forward to from the brand. And these, most importantly, I think data silos and data fragmentation is one very important thing which brands need to take care of, because it's very, very important to have one data talking to the other data, because that's how the consumer's seamless journey will happen. For example, if you talk about a click and collect, I mean, there are stores, there are brands where a consumer would want to do online shopping, but he would still want to go and physically collect his apparel from a brand, and vice versa, where he goes, tries his clothing, and then he finds a long queue, and he wants to kind of go back to the comfort of his home and do his online purchasing. So it's important that the seamless experience is built across the online and the offline channels. Apart from that, one other thing that the companies and organizations at times fail to do is the kind of training that is required, the kind of communication that's required between offline and online marketing teams, because of which there are times when you are not able to do successful implementation of these experiences. There is one more thing which is very, very important when we talk about the transition to a phygital world. Is that the AI, if I'm talking about the AI, or if I'm talking about the AI simulations, it is important that these are very, very close to reality, because in case they're not real, then the consumer's perception of sense of ownership, for example, when he's trying on an AI tool or an AR tool, will not be closer to reality. His sense of ownership will not be there, and hence his chances of purchasing the product will drop. So there are a lot of tech complexities, and I'm sure there are advancements in technology, but when we talk about these tools, these AR and the AI tools, and it's important that they are very, very close to reality, giving a sense of ownership when the consumer is actually experiencing those.
So Somin, what has been your experience in breaking down these silos? Are they for real or like?
So luckily in pharma or healthcare sector, the teams are not very separate, I would say, because in Indian companies, the marketing team who works on the Phygital and digital are same. But at the same time, in the larger businesses like in which currently I'm operating, or larger therapy areas, their teams are different. And how do we break silos are basically 2-3 areas we consider, and that helps us. Both the teams should have a shared goal and vision, so which we actually establish at the beginning. For an example, the annual operating plan which we do for the next financial year. So that time only we club the vision and goals and align them, both the teams together, that this is the brand vision, we need to sort it out, and we have, and these are the things we need to do. So that alignment helps for both the team to be on the same page. Second, sometimes we find it very difficult to have proper collaboration, and that's how the challenges comes in. But for that, in pharma, at least what we do, we give some common team, we create some task force who actually keeps both the team aligned. Periodically, there are different matrices which they measure. They keep both the teams synced. That is the second thing which we do. Third would be some technological advancement recently in our brand planning which we have incorporated, like a platform where the data sharing and the insight generation is happening, that is common for both the team, so that both the team can come to know which are the insights coming in, which are the customer data or consumer data coming in, and accordingly what are the next step we need to take. So both the teams are taking the things from the same platform. Last would be the resource allocation. Sometimes a conflict happens because of the resource allocation. So that we try to do centrally. We take leadership's help to align them that this is the objective and this is how we are going to allocate the resources. And I think Charu has also mentioned about the brand communication. I think consistency in and singular brand communication, which is very important, and I think periodically we monitor that, so there is no leakage in any of the team regarding the brand communication. So these are the basic steps we take so that we can avoid any of the conflict between both the team and they work in synergy.
I mean, that's very interesting because from a shared goal to a task force to common data platform, transparency, all things make a lot of difference. And you also talked about brand communication. So my next question is to Shilpi, that how do you ensure that you maintain the consistency and coherence in the messaging and whatever imagery you're trying to do in the phygital marketing?
Okay, sure, thanks. So like I just mentioned, when I was mentioning the broad spectrum that the payments bank operate in, which is completely deep rural, where people that we are trying to communicate, I wouldn't say speak to, don't know how to read and write. They can only understand visuals. And on the other side is the urban sophisticated audience, which is living in metros and spending 6 to 7 hours. A very recent research that I was reading said that Indians are spending 6 to 7 hours, close to 360 minutes online. It's not just everybody's not doing Instagram reels, but you're looking up something, you're searching for something, you're doing something online, making a payment or doing book my shows, looking at reviews, interacting with ChatGPT and the works. But that is the amount of time that people are spending on digital. So for brands which are operating at both ends of the spectrum, which is both deep rural and urban sophisticated, it's very important to crack the messaging which is
nothing significant. You can continue.
Yeah, we can continue. All is good.
Consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. I just skipped the beat. I don't know what happened.
Okay, let's settle down and we'll continue, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Great. So having said that, I think it's very important for brands which are serving both ends of the spectrum, which is rural and urban, that you have consistent messaging. It's not that that you go on my website, you see something totally, and something what Dipali mentioned. Now if you go to the Airtel Payments Bank website or the app, even the FAQs, because everybody doesn't know English and Hindi, right? They are in 17 languages, right? So you are ensuring that somebody who's, in tier 5, 6 cities is not seeing very glamorous visuals and saying, hey, this bank is not for me, this is only for people staying in metros, right? So messaging has to be consistent. I'll give you a very recent example. The bank launched a campaign for Festive, which was called Airtel Payments Bank Presents Dil Khol Kar, right? The consumer insight there was that everybody in the festive season, right from north to south, from east to west, is celebrating. We start from Durga Puja to Diwali, Dashera, the whole festive. Everybody is shopping. But the only thing that is there at the back of your mind when you're doing a transaction, am I doing a safe transaction? If I'm paying online, am I clicking on the right link? If I am doing a card transaction, is it fine? Or if somebody is, in deep rural carrying cash, do you think I should carry so much cash I want to give a gift to somebody? So that was the insight trying to solve, that you don't worry about safety, we will take care of it, right? So the messaging across, like I said, from north to south, from east to west, everywhere the mnemonic was the same. Like I said, a bunch of my customers do not know how to read and write, but can see the mnemonic, that this is the Airtel logo, this is what they're saying. And they could relate. So the imagery that was communicated, there was something that you could relate to. Like in East, it was Durga Puja imagery. The visuals were depicting people how they dress for Durga Puja. Similarly, we recently concluded the Chhat Puja. So in Chhat Puja, you did not have people wearing business suits or women clad in urban clothes. They were wearing those clothes, right? So that the relatability is much higher. But the campaign mnemonic was the same, and the key theme being safety. So how this was solved, like for safety, if you're going for a Chhat Puja at a ghat, which is you don't need to carry cash. You can just use your thumb and withdraw 100, 200 rupees that you want to do for the puja. Similarly, on the urban side, if I'm doing online shopping, etc., and I feel that, oh my god, maybe I've clicked on the wrong link, there was a new feature which was launched, which is called a fraud alarm, which is something that is, the first innovation in the industry. As soon as you feel that there's a transaction which is suspicious and has not been done by you, you don't need to pick up the phone and call a call center, press 1, press 9, press bunch of digits and be online that all the customer service executives are busy. You don't need to do any of that. You just go into the app, just slide that button, all your transactions are paused, you will get an immediate call within less than a minute from the call center. The fraud, awareness and the fraud cell will be alerted. All of this will be done in less than 2 minutes. So that's how all of these themes got integrated and the campaign was formed, which is Airtel Payments Bank says, celebrate Dil Khol Kar. So that's how you just really transcend this barrier of urban, rural, urban sophisticated, people don't know how to read and write, but all of this is transcended with just one theme, that we understand you and we want you safe. So I think that's how the campaigns are being planned for us. Thanks.
Yeah, so very interesting, Shilpi, the way you said, we all have been consuming our smartphone hours. A decade back, there was a concept of Google micro moment. That micro moment, when did this micro moment became mega hours? I think none of us realized. And more importantly, celebrate Dil Khol Ke, nice campaign, and the way you said, it's all integrated marketing communication, and ensuring that you contextualize it, like number of languages on your website. So all that is possible, just that understand the physicality of your customer's presence, whether it is online or offline, and relate to that, do the tweaking in the messaging as required, and I think you will be good. Now the next question is with, Rajesh ji, how can smaller businesses, with fewer resources, can effectively implement Phygital strategies, as compared to bigger organization? Now this is important because I'm sure many of you would be the second generation SMEs, industries, or some startups and two guys out there.
This is a very good question, and it is not only for SMEs, even for all of us all the marketeers, we always have one thing which is challenging is resources, be it beyond manpower or FMI, which is budgets. Second, if you look at how the media was managed earlier, which was like share of expense versus share of market, SOE versus SOM, that currency has dissolved. Today, we calculate SOV versus SOM, share of voice versus share of market, correct? Which means media investment has least correlation with share of voice. Share of voice can be higher, and it doesn't depend on the media you invest. It depends on the messaging, the content, the creativity, the innovation you do. Now coming to smaller businesses, like even in car retail, we have dealers pan India, and they also do a lot on promoting their businesses. And we were engaging with the students last night, and we understand that they are also supporting some local businesses, some research businesses, and they are working on some projects. It is important, there are a few things which are basics. One, business should be actually listed on GMB, very important. It doesn't take much, you just go first. Your business is not only local, you can connect with the global audience. Second is WhatsApp business. Because WhatsApp business, you can create communities, and on WhatsApp business, you can actually create a very engaging customer journey, automated, and all the responses to customers can be done with least effort. Third is, rather than going to mega celebrity or big celebrities, these smaller businesses can engage with local influencers, which is micro influencers, macro influencers. These local influencers works a lot because they know the local colloquial things, local nuances, and they can do a lot for the businesses. Apart from influencers, the main thing is UGC, because your customer, they can create a lot of user-generated content. That content work a lot because it is not the brand is saying, it is what the user is saying. The user content has a lot of relevance. Another, what comes to my mind is, you can look at other category which is cross-category. If I look at auto as a category, I can do something which is phygital, like MyGate as an app. I can target a society having 2,000 people with MyGate, because MyGate, all the people or the people which are target audience for me, they are using that app, and I can, with very limited money, I can do very geo-targeted communication to those audience which I am looking to target based on the society I am targeting, because each society has a middle class, upper middle class or ultra HNIs, and accordingly based on your vehicle, you can do targeting and retargeting. Or even aggregators like Cars24, they have digital integration. Somebody who is looking to exchange a car, they will look at buying a new car. So we integrate, because again it is a very localized, you don't need to go pan-India, you can do state-specific, town-specific integration with aggregators. And it complement to each other. The big piece is shop marketing. Because once the customer is at your showroom, how you are giving that in-shop marketing with the digital and physical integration, that is equally important. Because sometimes we are just pushing and targeting customers once the customer is at the showroom. We don't engage with them, or we don't give that experience. That is very important. Once the customer is at your showroom, how you are engaging. Because the study says, any audience who is physically available at a showroom, maximum he visits 3 outlets, 3 brands. And if he or she is already at your outlet or your store, it means he is looking to buy 30-35% is already your audience, your customer. So look at those things, personalized SMSs, emailers, all those can be very divided recently, the function into 2. One will be managing the brand and CX, the other will be managing the performance and channel marketing as a regional marketing, so that there is an integration. So performance driven, a lot can be done for smaller businesses in a low cost activity. Only the point is you have to understand your customer, your market, and your category you operate in.
So very important that now the share of voice and share of expenses are not so linked. That's very, very important. And so many tools are there. Just want to add, there are a lot of premium tools are available. And Phygital marketing is very much possible with smaller budget also. So my next question is to Charu, that how does privacy concern and data regulation, they impact this offline and online customer experiences integration, and what can companies do to ensure compliance?
Data privacy obviously is a major concern, specifically more for some industries. Today consumers are very worried about the kind of data that they want to share, and there is a lot of hesitance currently also in terms of sharing their cards online, etc., and I'm sure Shilpi would vouch for that. But then there are certain regulations, there are certain compliances that companies have to follow. There are certain nuances when you want to keep data safe, what kind of data is being used, what is the purpose that you are using this data. If you are transferring it to third party, is there consent that you've taken from the user in terms of transferring, how you're transferring it, under what scenario you are transferring it. So a lot of regulations that companies have to abide by when they're talking about data privacy and concerns around this privacy. And apart from that, one more thing that we in our company do is that we do not store any data in public domain or public clouds. So that's very essential, and we try and see that whatever data and cohorts that we are making to remarket is also being done basis the consent. For example, even for that matter, the WhatsApp for business accounts that you make, there are permissions that you take from customers to actually, share data, take data from them, and then that's how you accordingly go ahead with it.
Yeah, thank you. And for the paucity of time, first of all, thanks to the panelists. We'll get into Q&A after this, but you have really brought in both the bigger aspects and nuances of digital marketing. I think after the club presentation, Dipali's keynote, I think we thought that it will be difficult for us to bring those nuances, but you have done it wonderfully well. And more importantly, you can clearly see that all businesses are so eager, to have that competitive edge, follow the regulations of the day, and also to kind of go behind the newest technology which is available, whether it is a healthcare, automobile, the pipes and other building construction material business, payment bank, and that's the beauty of umbrella concepts and opportunities like Phygital marketing. So now the floor is open for Q&A. So you can, I think somebody would be carrying mics for the students. And you can kind of stand up, please tell your name and say your question. And if you want to specifically target the question towards any panelist, please say their name as well. Please go ahead.
Good evening, speakers. So basically we have seen more pros about the phygital marketing. So basically due to what can be the potential downsides or the unintended consequences of the always connected nature of the phygital marketing?
See, first of all, extremes of anything is bad. Always connected means that, this is more of a mental problem to be on your smartphone or connected TV at all points of time. The second aspect is that, what we clearly understand now, the younger cohorts would be more tech savvy and the older cohorts will be lesser tech savvy. Why? Because, the newer generations of tech will keep coming. And also, by their very nature and life stage, the physical abilities, I mean, the kind of psychological makeup which is there, they would rely more on a human touch, right? So the point is that this could be the potential cons, that like for example, Dipali and I were talking about wealth business today. People having, I mean, this is just an extreme example, more than 25 crores or 50 crores or 100 crores of net worth. They would not like to go to an app like Zerodha, Angel One, Grow, or IndMoney, or like some other app. They would rather like an RM to come and like explain things to them, and they have plenty of time that way. So that cohort would not like to kind of be too much into technology. And some people are very, very private. What I'm aware that many people who are in my peer group are actively reducing their posts in social media or closing their social media account. So this could be the potential cons, and I would request someone would like to add here.
I think, while your question is very relevant in today's day and age, and looking at the stats that we are looking at, they're always, obviously growing up, in terms of number of hours that we are spending on social media. But I think what is most important, and that's for each one of you in this room, the future marketers, is that at the end of it all, we want to do B2B, B2C, D2C. There's so many of these jargons every day, every now and then, Phygital, digital. But at the end of the day, what matters most, and we saw that during COVID when people want to reach out to their friends, family, etc. Ultimately, what's the bottom line? It's always human-to-human contact or communication. At the end of it all is some human who's thinking about the communication that you want, while you might be feeding into ChatGPT. But at one end is a human or a customer, and the other end is another person who understands the pain point of that customer, right? So I think the bottom line, while we have technology access and things are getting simplified, and you can do everything at a less of a button. But what is the key theme for anything that is being done is what keeps it alive is the human-to-human interaction. So I think that's where I'd like to summarize that communication, brand marketing is always about that human connect. How does that brand make you feel? Does that make you feel warm? Does that make you feel like, okay, this person understands my problem better than the other one? I think that's what differentiates one brand from the other.
Thank you, ma'am. And also there's one more question. So marketing should be basically a sustainable one. But for the data collection methods or the data storage methods, we are leaving a more carbon footprint behind us. So basically, how can we make marketing a sustainable in nature?
Can you repeat your question?
Yes, so to understand the consumer insights.
He's asking about the fact that because you're doing data, your carbon footprint is
we are
increasing.
collecting more data, and for the collection of the data methods or else to storing the data, we are leaving a more carbon footprint behind us. So how can we make this marketing sustainable in nature?
No. So what makes you think that, Intel said something about, the data storage capacity or, processing capability increasing in certain pace. And today we are talking about GPUs and stuff like that, Look at the kind of pen drive which are coming, like talking about GBs of. So that point is not correct. Yeah. And there is no point linking it to the carbon footprint. Because for a very simple reason that it's not being stored on paper, right? Earlier it used to be in the paper, big files, right? So do you think that these data gigabytes are like less environmental friendly as compared to the usage of paper in past? So I think this question is in a different direction altogether. We can take it offline with you. Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rahul, and my question is to what extent the costs and ROI factors have their role in the implementation of physical technologies? When we are implementing in multiple omni-channel strategies, how can we estimate the returns from where the returns are coming? Is it from the digital touchpoints or is it from the physical touchpoints?
Charu wants to take the question.
a very interesting question. In fact, you can do it from both physical as well as digital touch points. So, for example, you've given a print ad, and you have a QR code along with it. So, how many people actually scan the QR code, and how many people actually land up to your website is how you're tracking the efficacy of that ad. And probably then you can take it ahead with conversion. And vice versa. For example, if you've launched a campaign online and you have online vouchers where you're offering a specific deal to the consumers only when they go to the store and purchase it. So footfall traffic is what you can actually track to understand if this particular campaign was efficient enough to kind of call it a successful campaign.
I'll just add to it, there are multiple ways you can measure the ROI. It's not only always top line, and industry to industry it may vary. But if you see from when you are using any digital or phygital you consider now, customer engagement and interaction is the first thing which we measure nowadays. That how many, what is the interaction level happening digitally? How do you engage the customers? That is one. Second could be lead generation. I think Charu was also mentioning that for us like healthcare, how many doctors you are getting converted, how many new prescribers are being generated, how many new patients are getting onboarded. So those type of lead generation, how many devices, new devices you are selling. So those could be the lead generation is the second point. Third could be the brand awareness. For few of the brand, the awareness itself is very important. So how you are measuring that through your campaigns. Then it could be the top line, and top line plus internal and external parameters, and then maybe your customer loyalty. How many doctors or how many patients you are hold on to that? How many doctors are with you for a longer time? What is the net promoter score? So all these things you can measure. It is not only always the top line, and then you optimize the campaign basis on your need, brand need.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We extend a heartfelt gratitude to our dignitaries for enriching this session with their valuable expertise and wisdom, making it truly enlightening for our students. You can now have a seat and enjoy the conclave.
Thank you.
As we approach the closing of this enriching conclave, I invite Mr. Ritik Dhole to offer concluding remarks.
Good evening, respected dignitaries, esteemed faculty members, and fellow students. I, Ritik Dhole, with immense pleasure, would once again like to welcome you all to the 8th Annual Finance and Marketing Conclave, Pariprekshya. With our theme being discussed beautifully by our guest speakers, we understand that creating personalized customer experiences is crucial for improving brand voice consistency and strengthening customer presence. These smart strategies will help organizations navigate change and stay ahead. And for this, I would like to thank all our guest speakers for enlightening us with their knowledge. I am sure we all have some things to consider, some things to ponder upon, and most importantly, many things to learn from today's discussion. And to summarize some instances of the discussion that can be considered as the highlights, I would like to begin with the wonderful keynote speech by Ms. Deepali Nair. From her experience, ma'am shared her insights on automation continuously reshaping market segmentation. Ma'am also enlightened us about digital APM and zero consumer. And it truly was a wonderful experience, ma'am. Following next in the panel, Mr. Rajesh Srivastav spoke from his experience, highlighting dynamic competitive landscape, blurring the lines among industries, leading to convergence. Sir, it was truly an enriching experience. Expanding on the topic, Mr. Somen Das explained about role of data tools in evolving healthcare industry to enhance consumer journey and constant alignment of teams to achieve goals, which really provided a fresh and valuable perspective, sir. Then, Ms. Charu Malhotra guided us through evolution of marketing from being a mere purchase experience to consumer journey. Ma'am also talked about augmented reality, predictive algorithms, enriching the immersive customer experiences. Thank you, ma'am, for such a thought-provoking perspective. Moving on to Mr. Prabhakar Tiwari's discussion on data creating more touch points leading to creation of a completely new category, phygital marketing. It was really insightful, sir. Thank you for steering such an enlightening discussion. Last but not the least, the discussion brought to us by Ms. Shilpi Kapoor on changing customer expectations and the ease and convenience digitalization created, data integration in customer journey. That truly enlightened us. We are grateful for the perspectives offered in the session. With hearts full of gratitude, I, on behalf of entire IIM Amritsar community, would like to express our deepest appreciation to the distinguished guest speakers for learning and enriching and setting an exceptional tone for the event. Thank you.
For a brief recap, now we present a video montage by 50mm, the Photographic Club of IIM Amritsar and Media and Public Relations Committee. For capturing glimpse of today's event. Now I invite Mr. Saurabh Pandey, Senior ISC Coordinator, for the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the Industry Interaction Committee of IIM Amritsar, we would like to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all of you for making this conclave a resounding success. Our sincere gratitude extends to our esteemed panelists and keynote speaker. Your willingness to share valuable knowledge and experiences has enriched us all. We are truly grateful for the profound insights and wisdom that you have inspired. To our Student Affairs Chair and all the honorable faculty members, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your unwavering support and guidance. We are truly fortunate to have you as our mentors. Our special gratitude to Ms. Ruchi Mishra ma'am for her constant support and guidance. To the IT team, thank you for ensuring the smooth running of the event. Your hard work is sincerely appreciated. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to Marco the marketing club of IIM Amritsar, for their efforts in setting a relevant and an engaging context for the event. A special vote of thanks to their faculty anchor, Professor Sakshi Agrawal ma'am. Her unwavering support and guidance throughout the planning and execution stages have been instrumental in hosting this event. The success of this conclave owes much to the collaborative efforts of the Media and Public Relations Committee of IIM Amritsar. We appreciate the efforts of the Placements Committee, IIM Amritsar, to maintain the necessary decorum at the conclave. We are immensely grateful to 50mm, the photography club of IIM Amritsar, for their never-ending support. A big round of applause for the Industry Interaction Committee for making this event a huge success. And finally, to you, the students of IIM. Thank you for your constant support, patience, and engagement. We are truly grateful for your participation. Once again, thank you everyone for making this conclave such a memorable experience.
I now invite our dignitaries, ISC coordinators, and Marco Club members for a group photograph.
Someone